What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be giving you the top 5 loadouts that have 0 recoil or are just the easiest recoil to control after today's season 1 reloaded update. Now there are 2 more weapons that have been added to the game in the season 1 reloaded update, and we will be testing those here on the channel. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that noti bell so you don't miss any of those videos. Let's get into it. And just a reminder, these are in no particular order, and I always recommend use what's most comfortable to you, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to push the enemy, and if you don't push the enemy, you're not going to get more kills. So for this first loadout, we're going to go with the TAC E, or the TAC Eradicator. Loving this loadout right now, and it's a lot of fun to run, very easy to control when it comes to the recoil. You'll see a lot of the Cassis break muzzle on here, and that's because the visual recoil, it looks like it completely gets rid of any kind of weapon or visual shake on the weapon, which is so nice. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll test these in the firing range for you and all of that. So for this first TAC E, we're gonna go with the Cassis break L muzzle here, the Conquer 70 long barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the TAC Verde core stock, and I've got the slate reflector sight here. I like using a sight on this. If you don't like using the sight and you just want to use the iron sights on it, go with the high grain rounds here. Very solid option to switch away from the actual optic on here. But again, I like the slate reflector. We'll go test that for you in the firing range right now. And like I said, there's just no visual recoil on this. It's just an absolute beam. So much fun to run. Remember, these first 6 to 7 shots fire faster than the others, so make sure you're hitting those initial shots, and it's just easy to control. For this next loadout, everybody's loving this Ram 7, and it does just really have no visual recoil at all. It's a lot of fun to run. I'm absolutely loving it. Loving ARs, but especially LMGs right now, but this is the one AR that's super consistent for me, and there's just no visual recoil on it whatsoever. Oh, so fun. We're gonna go with the Cassis break muzzle, the Cronin headwind long barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel. I like the 60 round drum here, and the HVS 3.4 pad. If you need an optic, run slate reflector or something like that. I don't think you need the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope on here, but you can switch it out for the pad or the stock if you want. But again, the iron sights on this are a lot of fun to run anyway, so. And then for this next loadout, we're going to go with the Bruin. It's so good, just like it was in Warzone 1. And this specific loadout, you'll have the easiest time controlling the recoil on it. Not a lot of recoil to begin with, but this just bumps that visual recoil down even more. So we're going to go with the Cassis break muzzle, the Horizon V2 barrel here, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the 60 round mag for faster reload time. If you don't run a mag on it, it's going to have 100 rounds on it, but attach that 60 round mag for more mobility as well. And then I've got the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope. Again, if you don't want to scope and you just want to use the iron sights, always switch to the high grain rounds, in my opinion, or a stock. Not a bad decision, but like I said, whew, just feels so good to run, and TZK is pretty solid on it as well. So for this next weapon, we're going to go with the SVA 545. This actually does have 0 recoil, and I'll show you how to get that here in just a second. Now, if you're just running it on full auto, it's not terrible. You switch it to single fire and you switch it, it'll burst out 2 bullets. And so if you keep that on there and you just keep firing it, there's no movement at all on the recoil. So it's an absolute beam, and you can just keep firing it like that. Just 0 recoil at all. Unbelievable. So we went with the VT7 Spirit Fire suppressor, the precision barrel, the high grain rounds. I like the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope on this, and then the 60 round mag. Next, I see a lot of comments asking about the M13B. I love the M13B. The problem with the Modern Warfare 2 weapons is the fact that they have a lot of visual recoil. But again, we applied this Cassis break muzzle on here, and it got rid of most of it. And the M13's TTK is really solid right now anyway, so highly recommend this. So we're gonna go with the Cassis break muzzle, the Bruin Echelon barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the 60 round mag, and the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope. So here's what it's gonna look like in the firing range, and like I said, very little visual recoil now that we added that Cassis break muzzle on there. This is going to be fun to run. If you want to run that M13, this is the loadout you need to be running. next up, we've got the TAC 56. Now, what I did was I went and got a Modern Warfare 2 weapon that had very little recoil as it is, and the TTK on it's very solid anyway. So you got the M13B and the TAC 56. I highly recommend those two builds if you want to run Modern Warfare 2 weapons. So you have those two options. M4 is solid, but the M4, even with that muzzle on it, the Cassis brake muzzle, just a lot of visual recoil, and you can just do so much better with other loadouts, I think, especially like this TAC 56 or the M13B, if you're just dead set on using Modern Warfare 2 weapons. So I'll show you what this is like. So we're going with the Cassis brake muzzle, got the Tundra Pro barrel, put the Bruin heavy support grip under barrel on here. You got the 60 round mag, and then the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times optic. I'll show you exactly what this looks like. This thing honestly looks like a beam and just an absolute beast. So I bet you're gonna have if you like the TAC 56 back in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, you're gonna love this build. Next up is the Holger 26. This reminds me a ton of the Grau back in Warzone 1. If you ever ran that, it was a lot of fun to run. But yeah, this Holger 556 is very, very solid. And like I said, very little visual recoil, very easy to use. Not bad mobility either. And I'll give you that loadout right here. So we're gonna go with the Cassis brake muzzle, the Holger factory barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, and the high grain rounds, and the Ascent Lord stock. Now, if you need an optic, switch out this stock with an optic. Very viable option. But like I said, this really reminds me of the Grau, just very little recoil, definitely pretty much zero visual recoil. Also, it's just an absolute beam. And then another very low recoil weapon is actually a sniper. And I talked about this in last week's videos and stuff like that as well. But the longbow, basically a DMR, is 2-shot to the head, and the recoil on it's very, very minimal. Very easy to control, and it's broken, no doubt. We're gonna go with the Sonic Suppressor, the Pro 99 long barrel, the high grain rounds, the Sam Quick Bolt for faster fire rate, and then the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope. And this thing just, like I said, it's 2-shot to the head, boom, and just the fire rate's ridiculous for a sniper. Like, what are we doing, guys? It's wild. Next, we have the Pull Me at 762. I've given you this loadout so many times I can't count, but I do have a little bit of a different change on it for you, and it is the muzzle. But like I said, this was one of my favorite weapons to use. Very little recoil at all. Just so much fun. And right here we went with the Cassis brake L muzzle, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel. Again, you want to add that Jack Annihilator bullpup kit on it. That'll give you access to this Command D15 recoil reduction stock, and then the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope. An absolute beam. You're gonna love it. And then for my final loadout is the DG58 LSW. This might be my favorite weapon to run right now across Warzone, across multiplayer, whatever. There's no recoil on it. Now, there's definitely no visual recoil. There is actual recoil on it, but in my opinion, there's so much less gun kick than the Ram 7 that this goes to my #1 spot on easiest weapons to control. The Ram 7 has a better TTK, but this has the easiest recoil to control, and the TTK is so solid that I think you're going to absolutely love it. So for this DG58, we went with the Cassis brake muzzle, the Woody long barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the slate reflector optic, and the recoil reduction butt plate stock. And like I said, this thing just has zero visual recoil. We'll show you some actual gameplay right now on this thing in action. There's none. Now, like I said, it does have actual recoil, right? Like, it has recoil, but the visual recoil on it is so minimal. It's so easy to control. You just drag slightly down to the left. So easy. Oh my. Wow. Thing's insane. Holy. Thank you guys again for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that noti bell so you don't miss another video like this or like any of these. We'll see you in the next one.